Hello, my dear sister. You've heard me talk about my latte and my espresso. This is my coffee corner, and this is a Breville infuser, espresso machine, coffee scales, measuring cup. This is my favorite Mickey Mouse cup. These are the tools I use. This is where it's all going to go, the portafilter. This is the tamper. It's actually calibrated to 25 pounds per square inch. This is a leveler to level the puck. You'll see that as we go through it. Up here some extra cups. This is the knock box where you throw the old coffee away. I'm using half and half today. So let's get into it. First thing, turn on the machine. Machine takes about anywhere from a half minute to 40 seconds to warm up. Right now it's heating up inside, getting the water up to about 205 degrees, I think. When I do the steam and I froth the milk, today I'm using half and half actually, it goes up to about 260 degrees for frothing the milk. Once you see all the lights come on, then the machine is ready. So we'll go through the steps here. Okay, go ahead and pour myself some, usually a quarter to a third of the cup with either milk or half and half. Since it's evening time, I thought I'd go with a little half and half this time. And as you see, all the lights are now on the machine, so it's ready. The first thing I usually like to do, I'll just take one of these cups. If these are just your work cups, utility cups. A lot of people froth their milk in these cups so they can do latte art and stuff. To warm up this is called the portafilter, and this is what you'll see in coffee shops. They have big ones in their commercial coffee shops. All I'm going to do is just run some water through there, some hot water. That's all I want to do right there. And when I'm done with that, I just take that off. Well, actually take the portafilter off because it'll have some water in it. Don't want it to pour out all the way. There we go, just like that, pour it out. Inside there'll be a screen, and that's the cup. Now, I'll put the cup right back here. This water will just be going away into the sink in a little while. And so now it's time to go ahead and start getting the coffee ready and grinding it. I always use fresh beans. We are fortunate enough to have a coffee roaster about 5 miles from here. I really like his coffee. This has become the favorite for Hyung Soon and I. This is Honduran. The notes, it's a full aroma body with fine acidity. Its special flavor component is the chocolate taste, which makes Capucas one of the best quality coffees of this country of Central America. Like I said, it's Honduran. Now what I do is I turn on these scales because you have to weigh the number of beans or the amount of beans that's going to go in the portafilter or the coffee cup over here. So I'm going to weigh out about 21.5 grams of beans. And I just watch the scale. When I get pretty close, like right there, 21.7, maybe one bean too many. There we go, 21.4, just right. So we're all done. It's all weighed out. Now it went up to 21.5. It leveled out exactly where I'd like it. We can put the coffee away. We're done with that. Now the only other thing I do is I take this. It's actually an atomizer for, I think, makeup or something. You spray the beans. What that does, it holds down the dust when they get ground. So I just kind of shake them around inside that to spread that little spritz of water. And if you notice, the beans look a little bit oily. They're dark roasted, and that makes them a little oily. Tends to bring the flavor out. Now we pour them all right in here. This is the coffee grinder. It's got stainless steel burrs on the inside, and what it'll do, those spin at about 1,000 RPMs, I believe, is what their speed is, and they grind the coffee down to a few microns large, and you set the size of the grind up here on top. I tend to keep it pretty much set where I need it. Now if you see it, the coffee is now shooting out of the spout. It's grinding, and it's going into this cup. That's called the dosing cup. And yeah, it's pretty geeky. I'm a geeky guy, as you know. Now it looks like it's just about out. This is a bellows, so I just push it to push any remaining grinds out that might have been trapped inside. Like that. Turn it off. Now what I'll do is I'll take this and set it here. And this is just a little funnel that goes on top. The other thing I like to do is put it's a little filter paper on top. And what it does, it helps regulate the pressure of the portafilter. And part of the reason is, in the coffee shops usually have a spout. Well, this one doesn't. And I'll try to shoot a picture of actually the coffee coming out when I do it, when I brew it. So now I simply take this, put it in there, and you can hopefully kind of see this, the coffee is very finely ground, about the consistency of flour. And it's and it turns out it's very specific. It has to be just right for the amount for the bean, how much it's roasted, and how much oil is in it, how much, believe it or not, temperature, humidity can actually affect it, and the way it gets brewed. So what I'm doing now, this is a little wire tool. It's called a WDT tool, a wire distribution tool, WDT. And all I'm doing is going around, if there's any clumps that might have formed in the coffee, and this helps break up the clumps and get those grounds really good and fluffy. And you want to get that done so you have a nice even extraction when I run the espresso. Now you won't see all of this done, of course, in a coffee shop. They're a commercial process. They have to be. For them, remember, time is money, and they have to go through and get that coffee out. The customers are waiting. They're trying to get to work or going wherever they want to go, or just want to sit down and read a paper, whatever. But they don't want to wait all day for it. For me, this is more of a adventure and kind of, like I said, kind of a geeky thing. The other thing I like about it is the fact that because I'm using my own beans that I know are freshly roasted, I'm grinding it myself. I'm putting it through exactly the amount of pressure that's going to go through the machine. This usually comes out tasting a whole lot better than what you can get at a coffee shop. It's much better, I think. I'm just tapping down those grounds right now. And now you take that off, and you can see the grounds right now are at the top. Or you might be able to, I hope so. What this has got a wedge. This probably weighs about, maybe a ½ pound. It's heavy, it's all stainless steel, solid. And you put that on there. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of start this, and you're going to kind of slowly work your way around, and then finally you just spin it a few times. And what that wedge will do is it will make that coffee exactly even with the top of the portafilter and exactly flat on the bottom. I'm not sure if I can get a picture of that for you. I hope I can, and now you see it. So the next thing I do is go ahead and tamp it. Again, this is 25 pounds per square inch. What this does, it sets it exactly, again, even with the top of the portafilter, and I simply push it down, and that has just packed the coffee in 25 pounds per square inch. And now we have got the puck, and it's called the coffee puck, ready. And the last thing I do is I put this little wire screen on top. That's mostly to help me keep the machine clean and again help distribute. So I put the coffee, I lock it in here. And the reason is because when this brews, it brews the pressure, the steam pressure that it comes out at is between 130 and say 150 pounds per square inch. And so it's all steel and it's all locked together. So now we've got that all done. Let me turn that cup around a little bit. I like to have this rag laid out. This is a bartender's type rag that you can get at business Costco's and so forth. And so what I'm going to do is just get a cup. I'm going to set it right here. I'm going to put this steam wand in it because I need to froth my milk. And I turn on this wand. I can either get boiling water if I turn it one way and you want like an Americano, or I can make a latte or cappuccino and froth the milk or whatever it is. Again, I'm using half and half. So now you hear it building pressure and thumping. It's a thumping, it's the pump and the pressure. Now you'll see the steam start out, and I like to let it get a good full head of steam before I start to froth it. Now I turn it off, I rapidly put my wand back in this cup and turn it back on. Now we're done with that cup, and I just put it out of the way. And I just let this steam blow through the milk or the half and half. And what it will do, it will continue and it will expand milk, or in this case half and half, about, I've had a third of a cup, I'll end up with almost a full cup of froth. And what it does, it swirls around inside, and I slowly keep moving it down. As it expands, as the milk becomes aerated, I just move the cup down a little bit at a time so it can continue to catch a little bit of air from the steam jet. And this hand is on the side of the cup. I keep filling the cup, and when it gets really too hot for me to hold on to, I know that it's just about at the right temperature. A lot of people will put a thermometer in there and they judge it. No, it's got to be this temperature. I don't get quite that technical. I know that Yang likes very, very, very hot coffee. A lot of people will use that metal cup that I ran the steam in a few minutes ago. All right, I think we're about done here. Turn off the steam, wipe it off, and if you can see that, we now have almost a full cup. It went from a third of a cup to almost a full cup. I now put that cup directly under the portafilter where we put the coffee a little while ago. And all I'm doing is wiping that dried milk and steam off of this so that it's ready to go for next time. Just clean it off real good, just while it's still on there like that. It's clean, it's put away, it's done. Now, to start the coffee process, this is for one shot, this is for a double. I usually run manual. If I do a double, it'll run for about 30 seconds. But I like to run it myself. And I'll just hold it down for about 5 seconds. Now, I'm going to move this up, maybe over a little bit. Now you can see it starting to form and come out. Now it's starting, the coffee foam is starting to come out. You notice the gauge on the top of the machine possibly is a little bit high. That means it's right at 10 bars, or probably about 145 pounds per square inch. We now have a full cup, and I stop it. Now, set that there. We now have a cup of latte. So there's about 3 shots of espresso. I now pull this off, and I come over here to this knock box. Let me turn you around a little bit. Turn that over, hit it, take that little filter screen off, knock the puck out. And just so you see what it looks like, you see the bottom where that paper was, and it looks a lot like a hockey puck. So now we're done with this. I just drop that back in there because it's got that water and stuff in it. I'll put this one in here, and I'll clean those up in just a few minutes. Once we're done, I'll take my towel, just as a cleanup, wipe that off, and we're done. That's it. Turn it off. Now it's time to prepare my coffee the way I might want to have it today. This is our kitchen. You haven't seen it. It was remodeled about 6 years ago. The people that are building our deck for us, the contractors who live actually on our street, did all of this for us. That's a new microwave. Our old one finally gave up, and we had to get a new microwave. So now I'm going to set you down like this, and you look at that cabinet right next to our refrigerator. This is where I keep all of my other coffee stuff. Ghirardelli chocolate from San Francisco, French vanilla flavor. Today I want some caramel. I like the Da Vinci fluids, these caramels and flavors. They actually were bought the same place I got the towels. Costco has them at their business center, and it's primarily for commercial coffee places where they would get their flavors. And let me get a spoon here. I have a spoon I like, long handled with about a teaspoon, and I tend to like about 2 teaspoons of flavor. And mine, just Xiang and I pretty much like the same coffee, and this is the way I make it. This is the first thing I make for us every morning. And so you do that. You can see the nice froth on top. And Candy will probably get, I put my finger in it and I'll let her lick it off my finger. She loves it. She doesn't get the coffee, but she sure does like the froth. And being that this is half and half, she'll like it more, I'm sure. So good. That is my coffee routine. And something to see, I'll edit a little bit of this so you can kind of see what I have done and so forth, but that's it. Let me give you a little bit more walk around. Again, there's my coffee bar, the stove, and the microwave and stuff. This is a dining room. We seldom use it. There's Xiang's china cabinet. Of course, that's black lacquer from Korea. Come in here, and there's one of her, again, some of the black lacquer with mother of pearl and hand carved stone from Korea. And German beer steins from Heidelberg. This is our living room. We think we might move this rug back out to the deck. There's our TV, and as you look there, there's our little baby girl on the floor guarding her pieces of cabbage, her snackies. She's probably in a food coma right now because she had some beans and rice with me a little earlier. This is the new deck we're having built. It's coming along quite nicely. You can see how the doors are formed here and how they've done it. Whoops. And we'll take it back out, come back up to the roof. It's got a skylight. Right there will be a large ceiling fan. Come back down to the windows. You go back down this way. And now we go back out here. That's our rose bushes. Unfortunately, when I got COVID, what didn't get better was my sense of smell. And these pink roses smell phenomenal. They are such a strong smell. Occasionally you'll come out the back door and you can smell the roses. And there's our red roses back there. I'm running the water, but you can see we have some blueberries and some chokeberries. As I come around, those are goji berries, and of course rhododendrons. This is a persimmon tree. Go back on out here and you can see in our yard we've got all kinds of plants and flowers, azaleas. Those are zucchini, and then that's perilla. It's a kind of a plant that people in Korea like a lot. More zucchini, I think, over there. There's a fig tree back there. This is the laurel we put in about 7 years ago. They were 4 feet and we cut them back to 8 feet every year. Now they're back up to about 10 probably. We come around here. There's our big umbrella we put out on, crank it out on hot days. Right now a lot of the stuff that we had on the deck is over here under this tent. So it's just kind of stored away. There's the greenhouses I've made for Hyung-soon, the plastic one with aluminum, and then the one I made this year, which is wood. And it's neat. You can see the vent on top, and it's automatic. When it gets hot, it opens. When it cools down, it closes automatically. And let's see. You go back here. Here's her other. There's the cucumbers, and they're looking good. They're growing well. More back here. She's got lettuce growing over there. She's got hot peppers. She's got onions. More zucchini. More squash and zucchini there. We got some tomato over there. There's some garlic that's about ready to come out of the ground. We got lettuce and hot peppers back down there in that garden. And more there. That's the shed I built about 10, oh no, it's longer than that now. About 15 years ago I built that shed. And then Kai and I, about 5 years ago, built on the back end of it is a enclosed wood shed that I built. And so this is our backyard. So we come around and I'm walking on the rocks with my socks and they hurt. Okay. This is the new deck and sunroom. You can kind of see that's all, sliding doors all the way around. So, it gets hot. We open all those and keep the screens closed so that we get a lot of good air circulation. And then we just close the back door from the house, because what'll happen is our heat pump will come on, and that way we've got air conditioning. Close the screen. And that's pretty much our house. So I hope you enjoyed the tour.